When we started in 2006, we were only 36 nurses. Now, when the hospital started growing, a number of nurses also came to join us. And we are now, I can confidently saying that we have got a number of 98 registered nurses and 27 enrolled nurses.
International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUF for life. We are IUF.
Good evening and welcome to Today on One. I'm Maggie Forciero. In the news tonight, Utani calls for urgent intervention to address housing needs of low-income groups. Netball Commerce Regional Office equipped with fire extinguishers. Stench and unhygienic conditions upset Quisepmund vendors. And Roundup Comments Corner, Business on One, Sports and the Weather. Now for the news in detail. At a recent stakeholder meeting on land and housing delivery targets of the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2, the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Erastus Utani, called for the financial sector to urgently intervene in addressing the housing needs of low-income earning groups. This report from Joseph Ilonga.
The Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Erastus Utani, said that there is a dire need for financing institutions to intervene to build more credit-linked houses that are below 200,000 Namibia dollars to allow low-income groups that earn between 2,000 Namibia dollars and 3,000 Namibia dollars to afford houses.
We have many of our people under well-intended schemes such as Build Together, Shape Dwellers, and many other stakeholders, but a dire need for the intervention of our financial sector is needed in order to expedite the servicing and the land delivery process. As we have demonstrated through our informal settlement upgrade pilot project in the city of Windhoek with the reduced interest rates by financiers, provided that we can build more credit-linked houses that are below 200,000 Namibian dollars. Many of these people of our society are those who earn between 2,000 Namibian dollars and 3,000 Namibian dollars per month. And these are the people like petrol attendants, cleaners in public and private sectors, street vendors, as well as those in interim position in our establishment and many others below that. These are the people who wants to hear that a house is below 200,000 Namibian dollars. But if it is above that, they will not come forward and the status quo remains.
According to the first objects of the National Housing Enterprise Act, the objects of the NHE shall be the financing of housing for inhabitants of Namibia and generally the providing for the housing needs of such inhabitants. Jobo Mupanda, the mayor of the city of Windhoek, stated that under this act, the NHE is actually a bank and should be providing housing finances, especially to low-income groups.
The first object of NHE Act is housing finance. NHE is actually a bank. NHE is not supposed to be giving tenders and doing all those things that they are doing. They're supposed to be giving housing finance, which they don't do. Honorable Minister, if NAG can be directed to say you are housing finance, even on the basis of a pilot project, to say we are going to give you this money to advance the loans to the low income group. Because with the housing backlog that is 300,000, 70% of them are in that category. So the ministry can actually even say, well, on top of the 5 million that we are giving to NHE, we are going to give you another 5 million. But this 5 million is for you to start a loan facility. NHE is not even supposed to be having their books taken over by commercial banks. That's weakness. They're supposed to be doing housing finance. That's a legal mandate that they're not supposed to be collaborating with commercial banks. Also, Honorable Minister, in Section 57 and 58 of the Local Authority Act, there is provision for two things. One is a housing fund, and two is a housing scheme. Local authority could actually have their mini banks there to provide loans to the low income.
The Minister of Urban and Rural Development also said that his ministry is tasked to promulgate the long-awaited rent control bill by the end of 2021 and to scale up the investment in the provision of proper sanitation to bring an end to the bucket toilet system by the end of the year 2022.
The Netball Commerce Regional Office on Friday received fire extinguishers from the IMEX Group 6 Fire Prevention, who recently embarked on educating road users at various roadblocks in the country on the importance of owning a fire extinguisher in one's vehicle. Selma Tapopi has more.
Commerce Regional Commander for the Namibian Police receiving the equipment commanded the group on the public education it has been doing, further encouraging members of the public to prioritize their safety on the roads.
It is then recommended and advisable to have fire extinguishers in our cars, whether it's in the office or it's in the cars. It is just something that is a must-have. So having the display and is having some engagement with the public at the different roadblocks, I'm sure one or two of them must have seen the need for having whatever kind of fire extinguishers in the cars, at homes. It's not just in cars. Homes can also get caught fire. So the bottom line is about the safety of an individual at a particular time, whether it's at home, whether it's in the office. And I will not see this one as being donated to me as a person, but it's in the office. So it will be there in the office, and it can be used at any given time in any place. If something happened in the other corner, I can still run to my office and pick up and go and do what is need to be done.
Demonstrating how the extinguishers are used, project owner JP Shomwele explains that the fire extinguishers can be used as decor and are activated once exposed to fire.
If there's no fire, if there's no fire, it's the decoration. Yeah. If there's fire, you extinguish the fire. Yeah, so I just want to also indicate this. This is a fire extinguisher. You throw in the fire.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like this. What you have to do is to keep your flower, because your flower is still need another one. You got it, but this one you must use it to kill the fire.
This is a fireball. We call this a fireball, which we will mount against a wall or something for the commander here. This is a fireball. It's an automatic fire extinguisher. It is mostly used where you throw it into the fire, and it's activated itself when it gets in contact with the fire, the extinguisher.
In case of fire, it does the fire by its own. You don't need somebody, a kit or do person to come close with fire. You just toss it, throw it on the fire, and anybody can able to make a use of it. We talk about disabled. We talk about children. We talk about those old people. They can still use this automatic fire extinguisher. Just by throw, then the fire will be destroyed.
Market mall vendors at Quisip say that they are tired of using broken and unhygienic toilets. The vendors say that the water and urine that flows from the toilets are a health risk for them and their customers. Hendrina Caniola has this report.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Small business owners of the Quisipmoon Market Mall at Walvis Bay are unhappy that there is only one toilet for over 100 people. They claim that they have reported the issue to the municipality several times, but instead the women's toilet was closed in February and never repaired.
We're having a big problem of toilets. The toilets that we are having here, they are not functioning at all. They start. It was in February. It's where they start not more functioning very well. There were only 2 toilets for male and female, for women and men. But now we have been trying to consult municipality, to call municipality, those who are having a responsibility for the open market. But now they came and closed one toilet for women. Since they closed it from February, March today until now, they did not open it. And then from there, women we start to use only one toilet for men and for men, only for men. They said that the woman they must go to the Ekutuliatika to use those toilets and check the distance from here. A woman to use a toilet which is far from here.
Kalunde said another group of vendors that sell second-hand items in front of the stalls and people from Quisipmoon Old Compound are also making use of the same toilet. This, Kalunde says, makes the situation even worse.
We are having 52 more, and almost all of people those who are there in the mall, we are almost 100 something. And then when you check there at the open space where people are selling second hands, they are also using that toilet. When you check also to the old compound, in the old compound there's a lot of people. Those people who are staying in the old compound, they are also using that one toilet. Yeah. Why they are using the same toilet? Municipality put 2 buckets there inside of old compound for those people to use it. But now those buckets they are full. While it's full, those people they will come and use the toilet. Now the toilet is no more functioning. As you were checking even the bed. Now what we request here, we are requesting municipality to come and renovate within even 3 days or 2 days. Because even our customers, they say they don't want anyone to come and support us. It's because the toilet is not working. These people who are working in the municipality, the one who is having a responsibility in this environment, they are not doing their job. I'm not talking about the higher management. I talk about this, the one who have been taking responsibility for this environment. They are not doing their job. We call them many times to come and do their job, but they are not doing their job.
The municipality's communications officers said that they are aware of the situation and are in the process of attending to the problem as soon as possible. Shea, however, noted that the municipality was aware that the community had been vandalizing the toilet facilities and urged them to take care of public infrastructure.
We are aware of the situation and have taken appropriate measures to ensure that the proper functioning of the toilet facilities at Market Mall are being attended to as soon as possible. The facility in question, in fact, consists of 4 toilet stalls and 6 hand wash basins, and it's meant to be used by men. The female block is currently closed as it is under repairs, but will be ready for public use by the end of the month. Currently, there is a high volume that we have reported of residents who are using that one facility. A cleaning contractor has been appointed to clean the facility 3 times a day from Mondays to Fridays as per our daily inspections. However, we have noticed that the community is vandalizing the facility. Recently, a flooding incident took place whereby one of the pipes underneath the washing basin was disconnected and used as an access point to fill up drums of water for personal uses by the community. We call upon all of the members of our community to refrain from such acts, as what they are doing is that they are limiting our efforts to ensure a clean and hygienic environment for all.
The mall has about 50 stalls with services such as providing photocopies, selling clothes, and electronic repairs, amongst others.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
My brother, if she say no, she means no. Let's speak out against gender-based violence. Together, we can make Namibia a safer place for everyone. My Namibia, my country, my pride.
In other leading stories, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, in a media statement, noted that some Namibians are traveling with 2 valid Namibian passports. The ministry notes that once a passport is declared lost and another one issued, the older passport should not be used, as a declaration is made under oath, and lying under oath is a criminal offense for which one can be prosecuted. The public is hereby urged to refrain from traveling with or utilizing the passports they declared lost once they recover them. Such passports must be surrendered to the ministry. For more information, please contact the Public Relations Desk on 061 292 2186. And Namibia Breweries Limited, a subsidiary of the Old Haverland List Group, has extended its support to Namibia drought relief by offering its transportation services to deliver fodder to farmers across the country who have been severely impacted by the drought. NBL has started transporting the first of a series of truckloads of fodder to farmers who find themselves in dire straits. The Namibia drought relief started in 2016 by providing fodder to farmers in the drought-stricken south of Namibia. Although much of the country received good rains this year, the northwestern and southern areas of the country were not as fortunate. These are the areas that Namibia Drought Relief intends to reach, along with farmers in need in other areas, with the contribution of NBL's transportation services. Namibia Drought Relief calls on other organizations and individuals to join these collective efforts in whatever capacity they may be able to support farmers nationally.
Are you a CMS member? With HospiCash 100, you can get up to 100,000 Namibian dollars cover with a 30,000 limit per event from as little as 100 Namibian dollars a month. We understand that being in hospital can be stressful. That is why with HospiCash 100, you can cover your non-medical expenses by receiving cash payouts when you are in hospital, so you can recover stress-free. Interested? SMS your name and HospiCash to 555 and we will call you back.
Joseph Shifeni standing by for today's Business on One and Economic Indicators.
Welcome to Business on One. I'm Joseph Shifeni. The tourism sector has been one of the hardest hit by the pandemic, with the closure of many businesses and shedding of over 1,000 jobs since last year. I've traveled to the western corner of the region to speak to owners of tourism facilities and find out what the situation is on the ground. The tourism sector has not been spared by the ongoing global crisis. Last week, the Minister of Tourism, Pohamba Shifeta, spoke at the Environmental Investment Fund, where he said that the sector is facing a collapse with a decline of 87%. Catherine Schulze-Nieuwhof and her husband have a farm at Ababis, located 100 kilometers west of the capital, where they accommodate tourists as well. She says they made no income for months and had to lay off some workers.
With the COVID coming since March last year, we have plus minus zero income up to now. There are only a few people coming, but even us, we have last year 10 employees and we have to retrench 5 of them, unfortunately, and they have no income anymore. Other thing is that Social Security didn't pay for anything anymore. We fight last year 3 months or a half year to get any money for the employees, not for us, but for our employees. And it's they are most hidden of this all the disaster now in Namibia.
Chonda Almeida runs the Samawati hot air ballooning near Solitaire and says that the country is a popular destination for tourists because it has a lot to offer, but the current situation has brought the industry to its knees.
Namibia is a very popular country worldwide, and we just want to bring that up even further. So we really want to promote Namibia and show them that we have a lot of space. We actually, in terms of mental health, you come out here, and actually really get better because we have a lot of open space. People can move around freely. There's a wealth of flora and fauna So I think Namibia is definitely on the spot of rising up further. So I think yes, we have some difficulties at the moment with not many tourists in the country, but we are trying, and I do commend our tourism agencies and people that are at the forefront of this fight to revive the tourism in Namibia, because it's something that's so needed. So many livelihoods are dependent on this. So I think we will push through.
Last year, the government introduced the International Tourism Revival Initiative in September that brought in about 23,000 tourists. The initiative was launched in a move to assist with the country's tourism recovery. The owner of Sources on Foot camping site known locally as Bushman says with no international travelers around, the focus has changed to locals.
So with the whole flow of the change, there is no people coming, no overseas tourists, and we try to get the local tourists, and they love it. They love it to come, and we try to also get some local tourists for ourselves, and it's also nice to share it with them. So people love to be here, so we had to drop our prices. Of course, there are many politics around that, but yeah, we need to give a better price for these people, and they do come. They love to come, but the way that they travel, the way that the overseas tourists travel, unfortunately for us, we have to reset our whole setup, because overseas tourists come with a bus, or they come one person on his own. Namibians come 5 or 6 families together, and they don't want to sit in front, they want to sit on the back. They don't want to do this, they want to do that, they want to have it this way. So it's a different setup, but we are getting used to it, and I just want people after this, when the tourists overseas come back, don't forget the locals, because the locals are the people carrying us through this. So when the tourist comes back, don't forget the locals.
The business owners say although there has been no support from the government, they implored on the ministry to ease restrictions on foreign travelers and increase promotion efforts to attract more tourists and get the sector going. That's all we have for you this evening. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of Business on One.
Winter is here. Let's warm you up by giving you a chance to win one of 12 gas heaters and accessories, or a grand prize of 50,000 Namibian dollars. To enter the Winter Warmers competition, simply buy any combination of 2 or more of the following participating brands: Baker's, 5 Roses, Fresh Pack, Frisco, or Hug in a Mug, and SMS WINTER to 445. And remember to keep your till slip as proof of purchase. Promotions run from the 1st of May to the 31st of July. For more information and entry details, visit 99fm.com.na. T's and C's apply.
Now we look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from the hottest social media pages. Job Amupanda, the mayor of the city of Windhoek, announced that the city will not avail the 24,000 serviced plots that the government aims to deliver by the end of the second phase of the Harambee Prosperity Plan. Amupanda delivered the statement at a recent stakeholders meeting on land and housing delivery targets of the HPP2 that took place at the Namibian Institute of Public Administration and Management. Shikundu Morgan says it's a good move so that the poor individuals can get land. Anita agrees that it is a brilliant idea, noting that enough is enough. Brandley says not even one town in the south was mentioned to benefit. Cesar Cohere says the land should instead be taken away from municipalities and returned to the Land Ministry so it can be sold for a much reasonable price. While Carlito says that those who have voted will suffer in the end, as land is being delivered at a slow pace and used to get votes. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today on One.
Hey, this is Script, and you can catch me on One Africa TV on Sundays at 8 p.m. as we chat to Namibian changemakers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and doers who are changing the game. 99 FM Game Changers is supported by Paratus. Limiting potential is not an option. Think big.
Time now for today's sports update with Chairo Musiandaka.
Welcome to Sports on One. I'm Chairo Musiandaka. This past weekend saw 4 Netball League games taking place, 2 games in the capital of Windhoek and another 2 games in the Omosati region at the Owongo Unam campus. Log leaders Tigers took on Wafish Bay outfits 11 arrows, while the Namibia Correctional Service battled it out against Golden Girls, both in the capital city. In the Omosati region, Rebels Netball Club played 2 games as they faced off against Dollar Stars and Young Stars Netball Clubs respectively. Castro Lumbu has more on this story.
The first game in the capital saw table log leaders Tigers Netball Club facing struggling 11 Arrows Netball Club from Walvis Bay. Arrows drew first blood as they netted first in the early minutes of the game, but Tigers kept calm and replied few minutes through goal attacker Eva Hamalwa after Arrows had gone ahead. As the game went on, Ingwenyama showed class as they dominated the game, with Arrows struggling to defend the pacey Tigers team. The Shandubala outfit further went on to score 62 more goals, beating 11 Arrows 62-30 to cement the top spot and keep their 100% league winning record. Watch Tigers and 11 Arrows highlights on the day. In an interview with Today on One Sports, head coach Morney Pinar was proud of his team's performance on the day, also praising the girls from the coast for giving his team a run for their money during Saturday's match. Tigers being the only unbeaten team in the league so far, Pinar denied to be league favorites, saying that it is still early days to think about being crowned champions for the year.
Another slow start in the beginning, but unfortunately the girls came back again, ensured working on the errors that they were doing. They had a few mistakes here and there. 11 Arrows teams, obviously they capitalized and ensured that if we do make any mistakes, they do capitalize on that. The defensive and the attacking players was exceptionally well from 11 Arrows. They managed to beat our defense on the back line. They managed to attract them, draw them in. So it's a good team from the shooters, the goal attacks. And our attackers were aggressive also, a few mistakes here and there. But unfortunately, it's one of those things. You win some, you lose some. So you just have to make sure that you capitalize on your center passes. It's still early days. Obviously, this is a bit of it's early stage. We take every game as it comes. We don't differentiate. So every team is difficult. There's going to be stronger teams that's going to be coming ahead. So it's still early days to say.
In the second game on the day, Namibia Correctional Service Netball Club faced Golden Girls Netball Club. The team proved too strong for Golden Girls as they defeated them 79-21. Other results from Mogongo Keppers saw Rebels Netball Club win both their games against Dollar Stars and Young Stars.
That's all we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow for Sports on One. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. Back to you, Maggie.
Thanks for that update, Chiro. Time now to look at the weather forecast.
The interior will be partly cloudy and warm to hot. The coast will be partly cloudy and warm to hot. And wind will be moderate northeasterly to fresh westerly. Now let's have a look at the minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
That is all from us this evening. Tune in again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. From me, Maggie Forciedo, and the rest of the team, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future. A hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler and I'm here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. This is a demonstration, so what's most important is that you take the time in each position that your body needs to release its tension. In this session, we will stretch the hips. What you'll need are yoga blocks or books, thick books, or pillows, especially if you have tight hips. You can do this on a mat, on the floor, on a blanket, or even in your bed. let's get started. So we're going to start on the floor with the soles of our feet together. I'm going to grab around the feet. This is a butterfly position. So in order to warm up the hips, I'm just going to flap the butterfly wings. And again, take your time. I'm going to lean forward. And here, again, if the hips are too tight, you can place your blocks, books, or pillows underneath. You might even feel a stretch in the back here. From this position, I'm going to take one arm right behind me, not too far from my body. The other arm, inhale, exhale, press the hip open. And come back to center. Change. One arm right behind me to lengthen the spine, the other hand on the knee. Inhale, exhale, press the hip open. And back to center. Now we're going to lie down on the floor. And first, before I get started, I have to make sure that my body, my spine is in alignment. I'm going to just open up the neck area. And you can spend as much time as you need here, allowing the force of gravity to weigh on the legs to open up the hips. You can place your blocks, books, or pillows underneath the knees. And gradually, you can take the feet even further down and spend enough time in each position. From here, we're going to go into an internal hip rotation. I'm going to spread my feet to the side, lean the knees inwards. If you have a little bit more flexibility, you don't really feel the stretch, just take your feet even further apart to deepen this internal rotation stretch in your hips. From here, I'm just going to place my feet, and without repositioning the feet, I'm going to take my arms to the side, and then I'm just going to rock my legs side to side, keeping the upper body facing up, shoulders down. And then I'm going to stop on one side, take the lower leg over the upper to add weight to deepen the stretch. Release the leg and switch. Other side, lower over the upper. And back to center. Last part, I'm going to spread my legs as wide open as I can, and I'm going to just row the boat. So what's important here is that the knees don't lift off the floor. Make sure you row both sides. Keep the knees and both bum cheeks on the floor. Alternatively, you can just lean forward. You can hang out on the pillow. Take your time on the blocks or on your books. And that is it. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to breathe into your stretches, and happy stretching.
Where I met a lot of people that influenced my life very greatly.
Yeah.
And from there, it was Constantia. For those who ever know about Constantia, from Constantia I went to Compretum, and then I matriculated in Caribbean Private School.
Aware that, okay, this is not normal. I know we dress and everyone dress for comfort. They dress for their own personal reasons.
Yeah.
But it was always something that I was very skeptical about. And I was also like, why are you doing the way, dressed the way you were dressing, or why did you decide on this?
I just like to see what's going on
Yes.
around me, and I like to be influenced, you know. I try to avoid being on the internet too much, you know, the Pinterest, the Instagram, whatever, because I feel like that takes away from, I mean, as much as originality is dead, you know, there's space for it. You can be original.
Get pretty consumed. When I work, whatever I do, I get so consumed, I don't think I can focus on anything else.
In a time of uncertainty, false news, and fear, learn on. While the world scrambles to make new sense, while the experts turn around in circles,
trying to find their way back to tomorrow. Learn on. When classrooms become empty cathedrals and the trees start to bear answers, learn on. Learn on until every parent is a teacher and every teacher is a mentor. Learn on until you cross the boundaries of your mind, until you grow eyes and sprout wings. My friend, learn on. On sidewalks, on the floor, at the neighbors, in the market, in hallways, in churches, under trees, at kitchen tables, in riverbeds. Learning doesn't only happen between four walls. Learning happens in the small space of your enormous, beautiful mind. Start where you are. Use what you have. Learn on one. Invite learning in.
Win free airtime with One Africa TV. Share your comments on the channel. SMS your feedback, name and town to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
I like rhinos. I like them very much. Future here in this area is depending on the tourism. The future generation, they can see and they can benefit from their own resources. Animals like rhinos, elephants, the big five, you benefit from them and it must be respected. You are not feeding the rhinos, you are not giving them order, so it's a free business. I take two of my sons, which was little bit 5 years old. They were young guys. So they asked me questions. Why are we here? Why are we sleeping here? I told them this is our resources and this is our future. My first memory of going with my dad is that I learned new things. As I grow up as a man, I see an opportunity in it. So I decided to look for a job pertaining tourism. So that's when I was employed at Palembang. So I decided to go for tour guide studies because I grew up with the tourism industry, the wildlife, the rhinos and everything, to bring that experience to the tourists. You can see the hyena. The biggest change is I was employed, getting paid, and also I can now support my family.
It's a cultural thing. It's coming a long way. Even if you go to area like Treverfontein, area was a lot of paintings. You will see rhino engravings on the rocks. That is an indication that the interaction between human, especially the local communities and wildlife, is dating back. That intimacy relationship is coming for a long time.
We are right here now at Palembang, and Palembang is one of the big lodges in the heart of the desert. And as you can see there is Jumbo standing behind me, which shows it's really a tourist area. We do have elephants, lions, but as you can see, the desert is the heart of the rhinos. This is the main breeding area of the rhinos, is what we found here in this desert.
It's the largest free-roaming population of black rhinos that you find outside national parks in the world. It's a population that communities in the northwest have taken responsibility themselves in managing this population with the structures that government has put in place, more specifically the establishment of conservancies.
These people, before independence, they took it upon themselves and decided that wildlife is our heritage, and through history we've been living with wildlife. And having wildlife in your area is like having a garden.
Because of all these animals, we've got the communities that benefit from all this wildlife, and it's like a triangle that fits into each other. And the communities looked after the wildlife doing their own thing, and the communities benefit.
So already there were this intergenerational relationship between mankind and wildlife, and that bond is what our people actually wanted to see continuing.
Very few countries have the wildlife that Namibia has. What is also important is the policies that Namibia has put in place, which also involves communities to be engaged in the management of the wildlife species and also to benefit from the wildlife resources.
Turn conservation into a rural economy, turn conservation into endless opportunities that would actually cater for those young people that have nothing else to do.
If it was not for rhino economy and tourism in this area, it was really difficult for young people to get or find a job.
We are conservation engineers. We make conservation work in an unfenced area, and through that, we want to turn the wildlife into the rural economy that will benefit the rural communities.
So we can see now wildlife is doing very well, the lodges are doing well, and the community is also benefiting. So it takes all three together.
Devastating hit over coronavirus fears. The airline industry is facing its biggest threat to travel since 9/11.
Since March, when COVID-19 hit Namibia, things actually become very difficult. In the first days, all the lodges closed down because of COVID-19. With us, Save the Rhino Trust, we had some donors cutting on their funding. And then we had, in the same time, a poaching case of 2 rhinos that was poached. We had less boots on the ground, and poachers could actually see. Now it's our chance to go in and do something. So COVID-19 was tough on all of us. Ginger Morning, who is one of our trustees, actually came up with the idea of, why don't we ask you to go to buy some gold for us and make gold bars, and then we sell them for the rhino conservation.
I was fortunate enough to have a chance to have lunch with Clive Johnson, the CEO of B2 Gold in Vancouver, Canada. And I looked at Clive and I said, we've got rhinos, you've got gold, let's do something. Let's create a coin or a medallion or a bar, using your resource to create a sustainable source of funding for rhino conservation for the future.
There was it. The gold was bought, the bars was made, and I think it was January, 31st of January that we launched the bars in Windhoek. And suddenly one morning I had an email from my office, from my finance person saying, these people don't have salaries. So I said, oh, what now? So I pick up my phone and I phoned Mark Door. I said, Mark, I've got this problem. He said, but when we've got the fund already ready for you, you just have to apply, put a proposal in.
1,000 ounces of gold can make an enormous difference to the livelihoods of the communities that live up there. We are, in essence, providing income and providing a livelihood to the communities. In the absence of tourism, especially now with COVID-19, even prior to that, when we had such a bad drought, the communities became even more dependent on the natural economy.
The idea is to make this a fund that will last for the next 25, 30 years, or even longer. And a portion of that will be distributed immediately as needed. And in this case, the COVID-19 crisis necessitated us to distribute funds to pay salaries to help people in the field.
The proceeds of the sales from the gold bars will be going towards responsible NGOs. And we've identified Save the Rhino Trust as the key NGO. And IRDNC, one of the first organizations that was in the Northwest, integrated rural development and nature conservation, so that ultimately the funds go to the communities and various aspects of their war on poaching.
To be able to support those hardworking men and women that are always in the front line between the poachers and the rhinos.
If it was not for B2 Gold and the golden bars, I think by now we should have been in big trouble.
By extracting the gold, you reinvest it in other renewable resources.
The gold that's coming out from the ground is actually protecting the wildlife that's working on the ground, which is a very good symbol for the others.
I wish this was my bar. This is the 500 gram gold bar. So you'll see on this side you've got the Etindeka Mountains and you've got the mother rhino with her calf. And then on the reverse side we've got the serial number, you've got the Rand refinery stamp, which is very important. Anywhere in the world people will recognize the stamp and they will know that this bar contains 99.99% gold.
It is gorgeous.
We wanted to make a biggest contribution. And at Ballowwood we see that as a way of giving back to the community.
Okay, so there you'll see the 500 gram bar.
Very special.
Feel the weight. It's incredible.
This opportunity which presented itself is absolutely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We're privileged to have this.
This is just absolutely gorgeous, and I think this showcases really what the project is all about.
It's from 24 karat Namibian gold.
I'm looking at these rhinos is put there like Miss World photogenic, I would say.
There are only 1,000 of these gold bars, rhino gold bars, in circulation.
As far as I'm aware, it's the largest single donation of any corporate to the conservation of biodiversity anywhere in Africa.
Therefore, we so much appreciate and would want to continue as a government to work with B2 Gold.
And the fact that it's happening here in Namibia is something that we can all be extremely proud about and very grateful to B2 Gold.
Thanks to having this literal pot of gold through the funding for the Rhino Gold Bar, we're able to step in now and make sure that those trackers are supported, and so are their families and their communities.
We make sure that people sustain their jobs going forward, and who doesn't want gold?
And the B2 Gold Rhino Gold Bar has come in at a really critical time now, particularly with tourism being closed off and those forms of revenue not coming in.
To say we have the biggest rhino population or black rhino population in the world, let it be for the rest of our lives. And it's that heritage that we have, it's our resource that we can all look after and protect.
It's our heritage. And it's also good that other people like B2 Gold are also seeing it that way.
It's actually a very nice link between the investor that buys this gold bar, the rhino tracker in the northwest of Namibia, and the black rhinos. It's an intergenerational thing. The rhino trackers teach their children how to track rhinos. Their children get taught, and so it flows down.
This is something that I want my children to have, and that we leave a little bit of a B2Gold legacy. And if I can be part of that as part of my family, I'd be very proud.
It can also become an inheritance for the generations of my own clan. My children, my grandchildren.
If we can bring that passion over to future generations and to hand that over to my children, and I hope that that same passion for conservation gets migrated over to my kids.
And what we've done together is create a sustainable source of funding that should outlive all of us.
I think as far as B2Gold is concerned, we couldn't have chosen a better target in which to put our efforts as far as the environmental and conservation pillar is concerned. And I want to stress there that the money that's going towards environment and conservation is actually going towards the people.
Rhino is for all of us, whether you are in Canada, whether you are in Vancouver, whether you are in the US. If you really want to see conservation at play with rural communities, I therefore humbly request each and everyone to join us on our rhino tour and have a wonderful experience. This is what keeps rhinos on this planet.
I've done rhino trekking experience. It was just amazing walking in that landscape of the Kunene. And as we followed them, we could now find rhinos with the calf. We got the closest distance we could.
It's a warning sign.
And it was just amazing and lovely, something to experience that Namibia can offer. It's something that you have to do in your life.
And welcome to Life Clinic, your weekly dose of health and wellness from the BBC.
However, there is a school of thought that feels that organic food is too overpriced, yet they seem easier to grow and rare. But what do experts make of this?
You are paying for quality, you are paying for safety, you are paying for your health. Because the other alternative is consuming conventional foods that contain contaminants.
For those who choose to shave, let's say using clippers or a razor, use those that are specifically made for the genital area. So they're very different from the ones for the face or for the rest of the body, because in terms of shape and the angle, it sort of helps it so that you don't cut yourself in the process.
Should I be concerned about getting a prostate check?
We as healthcare providers are first and foremost concerned about the prostate because it's one of the contributors of a silent disease. Silent disease meaning prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is one of the main killers, not only locally, but globally. So
everybody experiences anxiety. You have a job interview, you have a presentation you're going to make, so everybody goes through some kind of anxiety. What differentiates this normal day-to-day anxiety to now this is a disorder is that you experience these symptoms for a long time.
Namibia's rising talents displaying the best goals, breathtaking saves,
gevaarlijke 1-2 combination on the pitch, as well as the biggest misses. It's the MTC Hop Soul Youth League Soccer Show, showcasing Africa's next soccer superstars. Only on One Africa Television, every Wednesdays at 18:30. Aye, yay, it's Super Disc on another level.